And real quick, let me ask you guys this. Would you guys prefer if I used a green screen backdrop? Here's why I don't use it. One, it takes much longer, and two, I don't know what to put on it. You know, what do I put? Maybe in the future, but right now I'm too lazy. So first up in movie news, The Wizard of Oz is being converted into 3D. So next year, you're going to be able to see The Wizard of Oz come to life once again in a spectacular post-converted 3D. And you know what? I'm actually a little bit interested to see what they can do with that, because Wizard of Oz is one of my favorite fantasy films of all time. Plus, I would just love to see the Tin Man come out at my face. We have a new movie coming out called Mobius, and this is based on the story of Moby Dick. Yeah, it's Moby Dick in space. And the director attached to this movie is Lynn Ramsey, who directed last year's movie We Need to Talk About Kevin. I'll be honest with you, Moby Dick in space actually sounds pretty badass. I mean, it's just the basic simple story of a guy out, you know, to kill a creature in space. I could be down for that. I just hope they don't try to make this creature in space look like a giant sperm whale. You know, I just don't think, I wouldn't buy into that. And next, they released this picture from the new Die Hard 5 movie, Die Hard 5. Would you have ever thought back in the 80s you'd see Die Hard 5? And judging by this picture here, it kind of just feels like Bruce Willis, you know, playing Bruce Willis. It doesn't feel like John McClane anymore, you know? It doesn't feel like this, you know, city street cop who has a bad attitude and a headache. It just feels like a fashionable Bruce Willis with a nice leather jacket walking around saying Bruce Willis shit. It's like, why all of a sudden is John McClane becoming this global defender against terrorism? You know, I'll tell you why. Name recognition. The name Die Hard sells tickets. Okay, so last up in movie news, we got our first look at the Lone Ranger teaser trailer.
From the time of Alexander the Great, no man could travel faster than the horse that carried him. Not anymore.
Now, over the last few months, this movie's ran into a lot of problems, you know, with sets being destroyed, the movie going over budget, you know, scheduling conflicts, and I think some guy actually died on set like a week ago. I mean, it just seems like it was cursed. And judging by this teaser trailer, it really does look like a lot of fun. You know, it looks like an epic Western action movie. You know, I'm not getting the Wild Wild West vibe here. I'm getting like a decent movie vibe, not a pile of shit starring Will Smith that was made just for money. Anyway, the major plot device that you can kind of pick apart from this teaser trailer is the whole movie kind of revolves around the invention of the locomotive, and the whole thing about the movie is whoever controls the locomotive controls the future. You know, I'm kind of waiting for the full-length trailer to kind of judge how Johnny Depp's going to portray the Indian character. We've already seen Johnny Depp as a drunk pirate with a slight slur in his speech, and we already seen him as, you know, an anemic kid with scissors for hands. I'm kind of curious to see how his Indian accent's going to be. And over on cinemablend.com, they posted a pretty cool article about what if Disney villains actually won. They actually show pictures of some famous Disney villains, you know, like Ursula and Cruella de Vil. And by the way, this Cruella de Vil picture is my favorite of all time. That creepy, dirty old bitch got those puppies. Look at that jacket, though. You gotta admit, that would be a nice jacket to have. I mean, yeah, you had to kill 101 Dalmatians, but the quality on that thing is like no other. Imagine how silky smooth it would be, too. Anyway, I didn't find it in the article, but I'd really like to see a picture of Captain Hook. What if he won? You know, he's got Peter Pan's head on a hook, and he's just sitting there, you know, on his big ship with all the Lost Boys in cages behind him. Anyway, guys, that's all the movie news I found interesting this week. And down below, if you guys want to read more about the articles and more info about what I talked about today, click down below, check that out. And anyway, if you guys are looking behind me, I have all my comic book movies out, and in a few days, I'm finally going to have my top 10 favorite comic book movies of all time. I already shot it, I just have to edit it, so that should be up in a few more days. Look out for that. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.